Okay, we have what could be one of the biggest misunderstandings in American history. We have what was told to us as a third credible assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump's life. We now have friend and business partner of Them Miller here, Mindy Robinson, to help clear the air. Mindy, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's been a crazy 2 days.
Oh, I bet. So let me give some background to my audience on you. You're an independent journalist. You are an anti-government libertarian like myself. You host a show, Conspiracy Truths, over on America Happens, where you happen to be business partners with Them Miller, who was accused of threatening the life of former President Donald Trump. Take me back to Saturday. Help my audience. Let's go through this and then let's get an update on what's going on with this situation.
Well, honestly, it took me a while to figure it out. The reason I wasn't with him, because I do normally attend these events with him. I'm usually the one doing the interviews. He does all the technical stuff. I had to fly out. I was in Oregon for a birthday. Anyway, I land from my plane, and as all planes do, my phone came on to and of course they're like, do you know this guy that just tried to kill Trump? I'm like, yeah, I know him, but like, I'm sorry, have you guys not looked at his social media? Like, it's all pro Trump. And of course, me and him, we just did a documentary on the Bundy Ranch scandal, which the feds really need to explain. I did one on the Las Vegas shooting. Me and him were going to do a 2.0 version of that because there's still a lot that needs to be covered that our government screwed up there. So my first thought was this was retribution. It really was. I mean, I'm like, oh crap, they rolled him up. They're going to, scare him to stop doing our documentaries. And that was my first thought. It certainly wasn't he was trying to kill Trump, because that's stupid. You thought he's like the best spy in the world and no one saw. What a hell of a cover. Only to piss it away last minute with the worst plan ever. And so I honestly, I'm vouching, look, guys, something's going on. He probably got rolled up and whatever. I apparently gave the feds way too much credit. It was actually a bunch of crap cops. uh, um, you know, he's a registered Republican. I, as a libertarian, should have pulled him aside and had a really discussion about lying to authorities. But like, he did not understand that all the guns, it was like a handgun and a shotgun that he had purchased in Nevada, that he can carry in Nevada legally. All of them are illegal in California with really dumb rules. Like, he's like, I didn't know that the magazine had to be transported separate from the gun in two different parts of the car. Like, yeah, so you can never use it to protect yourself. And it just does nothing than highlight the unconstitutionality of California gun laws. And this is a soapbox Vem's willing to get up on. But he clearly not there to kill Trump. But then magically, and this was just a ticket. I thought it was like a 5K bail. He didn't even get that. It was a ticket. He was honest. He told him, yeah, whatever. That was his problem. But that's all he did wrong. He had a right to be there. His passes were legit. He heard the cop making fun of him for being a Trump supporter. So maybe that's why they decided to just screw with him. They're like, oh, we wanted to check the serial numbers on these guns. And I'm like, dude, bro, shouldn't have. But whatever. I wasn't there.
So let me just clarify something for myself and the audience. Okay, so the articles that went out yesterday was that he had all of these illegally obtained guns. You're saying he legally obtained them, but the gun rules in Nevada are different than the gun rules in Coachella, California?
Sure are. Every gun that I have is illegal in California. So even though I'm a concealed carry permit, it doesn't carry over into other states like it should. Like a driver's license. We're actually about to pass that bill up to the Las Vegas shooting, and within 24 hours that bill was pulled. But that would have allowed people like us to go across state lines and protect ourselves under the laws of the states that we reside in. And something really, I'm sorry, but California gun laws are ridiculous, and obviously criminals don't follow them. And I'm weird how many conservatives are like, who would have a gun in their car? I'm like, bro, is it Tuesday? Like, he forgot he was in California because he was in the desert or something. So,
yeah,
that's the one mistake he made. But everything else, and for this sheriff, even during the presser yesterday, this sheriff, instead of, I don't know, admitting, a 5-minute look at this guy's socials, he was a Trump supporter, he doubled down on the Trump assassination attempt. And now I just know the guy's a freaking liar. Like, why are they lying about the passes being fake? Why are they this and that? Why are they exaggerating everything to seem like heroes? And well, that's the opposite of a hero, last I checked. And now I'm hearing this guy wanted to run for governor. I had so many people, oh, but seems like such a good guy. Yeah, don't they all? Welcome to Nevada, where there isn't even a single non-rhino running for anything because everything's so corrupt. It's both parties. People need to wake up to that. You know, how many stern, angry letters can the GOP write? Who from the GOP is going to stand up for this? I won't hold my breath. You know, it'll be the libertarians, it'll be the independents, it'll be the Second Amenders, and the sovereigns. Like, you know, it's his crime was being honest with the cops. There's a lesson there. But this whole other thing, this sheriff needs to answer for that. And I think they need to strip his badge because he's willing to lie about something like that. Where's this threat? This threat against Trump? Who said he said it? Where is it? What body cam footage is that on? Why? What hell would he even say that? Like maybe Biden. If he said that about Biden, oh crap, man, he probably shouldn't have said that. But no, there's nothing he ever said about Trump. And the cops need to answer for that. I'm sorry. I mean, this is what happens when you defund the police. What kind of cops do you think are left after a certain point?
Yeah. Let me go back to something else you said that it also goes against some of the articles that I was reading this morning. You mentioned that the articles mentioned that he had fake fabricated tickets. You mentioned on social media, no, that's not true. He was actually given tickets by someone in high authority there in Nevada. Help me understand why they're saying these fake VIP tickets.
Well, it certainly helps their story for the assassination attempt if he wasn't supposed to be there. But you can check the list. He had permission to be on the list. We do these things all the time. As independent journalist, like I said, I've gone with him before to different states. It's never been an issue. Usually they're happy to have you because they want coverage. In a world of fake news, everyone cover the real stuff. But yeah, it was actually given to him by the head of the GOP Nevada, who I freaking hate. I think he's a douchebag. But still, like, it's not like, you know, he bought them like from like some scalper in the parking lot or printed it off his own machine. He had a right to be there, but his right to be there takes away from, you know, this made up story that, like I said, the Riverside cops need to answer for that. That's bullshit.
Yeah. Well, so this is where it got a little bit confusing because this particular sheriff, Bianco, he has come out against Gavin Newsom. He has come out against Kamala Harris. Is there any chance that he is just covering for his precinct and they goofed up? And as the head of that precinct, he's trying to cover up the tracks? What are your thoughts?
Well, I guess he could have clarified that in the press conference he gave yesterday instead of doubling down on the lies. He should have thrown that if a cop was willing to lie about the threat, to have a reason to really search his car, whatever the hell they did, then he needs to answer for that. So someone needs to fall on that sword. And I, as a libertarian, because remember, I made the mistake, I ran for Congress for the GOP, only to have Kevin McCarthy back my wife-beating opponent who was picked up for murder 3 months ago, because that's what we deal with here. Just because someone has an R next to their name doesn't mean they have those values. And America needs to understand the whole idea of controlled opposition, the whole idea of rhinos. I mean, look at our past presidential picks. Like, was it Obama or McCain? Well, what warmonger can we vote for? I mean, these were all optional illusions. And so I'm hoping people are waking up to the fact that the uni party is a real thing. The uni party hates Trump. He wasn't supposed to win. They rigged it. They didn't rig it enough. I mean, everyone didn't guess how badly Satan in a pantsuit was hated. And then they didn't make that mistake again in 2020, which is so ridiculous. The fraud in 2020. If you don't believe it, you're the conspiracy theorist at this point. This whole like, boxes of Biden votes falling from the sky at 2 a.m. All that bullshit. But yeah, just because Chad boy wants to run for governor doesn't give him a right to make up something like this. This is a huge freaking lie. Kind of says what kind of person he is. I would feel better about him if he walked it back, threw whatever cop lied about that under the bus, and then moved on from that. But as of right now, he's not the good guy. So, I mean, I've made mistakes before as a journalist, and I've had to leave. I fell for something. I fell for a fake, whatever. Got to leave it up with the explanation. There's certain things you got to do, just to have morality, you know, just to be a person of your word. And so if this guy wants any kind of future in law enforcement or government, well, I mean, I guess the bigger the liar, the better in government at this point. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Let me share my screen here with you. This was another thing that had me confused yesterday, Mindy, is Miller, like you said, even a few minutes of looking at his social media, this is somebody who supports Donald Trump. This is someone who loves America. This is someone who wants America to be healthy again. He wants to get rid of the human trafficking. He wants the truth to come out. This is not a guy who woke up one morning and decided to be the third Trump assassin. I don't know. Is there any chance that what your original thought was, that they're trying to come after him for making these anti-government documentaries where you guys are showing that the government is behind some of the worst events that you and I have had to report on as independent journalists?
Yeah. They could choose after this point to keep running with it, like they did with the J6ers. They could take an old lady waving a flag in a building, and then suddenly she's an insurrectionist, and then they just crucify the Jesus out of them. Pardon, that's a saying, but like just crucify them to death, to kind of scare anyone else into ever protesting a corrupt Congress and a rigged election again. They could decide to still do that. I hope they don't. The mistake that they make with going after people like me and Vem is you're going to give us a platform. Now you've given us a platform and a soapbox to be like, well, we thought it was this anti-government documentary, which, by the way, maybe you should watch, because all those people involved are in power. The guy who covered up the Las Vegas shooting is our governor. He somehow won a primary where he got booed off stage for his opponent. I'm not a Republican, but Republicans nominated somebody else to be their candidate before the primary. But the guy who gets booed off, he wins in an election where 40,000 people couldn't vote because they were sent the wrong partisan ballot. It didn't affect the Democrats. They were running an incumbent, but it affected Republicans. But no redo, no nothing. And then, of course, the incident commander goes to Maui, goes up the fires there. We are drowning in corruption here. It has cemented itself in. It's not California. I bet you Nevada's worse. But yeah, give us a soapbox. I hope Vem gets on the soapbox and screams about how stupid California gun laws are, how unconstitutional they are. Someone needs to look into, oh, gee, maybe the GOP could do its job and actually uphold the Constitution. Obviously, they're part of the problem. And then highlight our work. We're still going to do the sequel to my Las Vegas shooting documentary. More stuff has come out, and people need to know, because they are going to continue. Our government will continue to murder us for power and profit, and to take away our rights until we finally call them out of it. It's a war of information, and the truth is the only thing that's really going to help this country. No one's going to come to save us. We have to educate each other and ourselves, and probably not fall for stupid ass things that you see online without looking into it first. That's a lesson I hope some of my peers learned this week.
Yeah. I'm a libertarian on paper. I know that you are as well. We probably lean more Republican because libertarians tend to lose elections, right? But
it's fair. I mean, look at all these elections are rigged. We never had a chance. They've probably been stealing our votes forever. Forever.
What was your first reaction when Donald Trump brought RFK Jr. out on stage in Arizona, and they said, we are combining to make America great again and America healthy again?
I think that's good. Here's the thing. They're going to rig. We know they're going to rig the next election. We know it's going to be pretty bad. They are trying to make up with it with optics, that Kamala is popular. But anyone with eyes, I mean, you saw it in 2020, but anyone with eyes could see that even if you love or hate Trump, he is clearly the more popular winner. And for him to ever have a win, he needs the people in the middle, the people that maybe they don't like him, but they sure as shit miss that economy. They miss being able to buy the groceries for the price that they used to do. They miss their freedoms. They miss how crazy. I mean, a social liberal has gone off the desk. I used to say I was socially liberal. I thought, not do whatever you want. Just, I don't want to hear about it, care about it, and don't do it in front of kids. That has taken a leap off a cliff to basically sexual molestation, sexual butchery of children for profit, which I thought would have been the line in the sand that would have gotten America together. You've got the illegal immigrants and criminals everywhere that we're paying for, that are going to murder us the second that. I mean, why are they here? Why are they here? To take our land when people realize the government is the enemy and they are outnumbered. Well, now you've got all these people with, government IDs with no background checks that buy guns. But, we're the bad guys because we showed up and some guy told the truth about what was in his trunk and he shouldn't have. It's a crazy world. It is what it is. I think the election's going to be interesting, but we need the people in the middle. And Trump's that guy. He's that guy, and like I said, love or hate him, the ideas that he has for America are pro-American. And unfortunately, that's like a bizarre alien thing to this Congress in DC right now. They do everything but help Americans. Here's your $750. Good luck getting online so you could even get it. Meanwhile, go buy Zelensky another yacht. You know, it's all money laundering. Everyone sees it. Go help Israel. Go help Ukraine. How about us? How about all our military men come home and protect us here? How about that border? You know, middle America is waking up. And like I said, sometimes it has to hit things personally for them to care. So let them go hungry. Let them not be able to afford a few things. Let them understand that the freedoms that they had were very important and why people fought for them. And maybe we can change this country without any warfare. But it's going to take a lot of getting loud, and a lot of not being afraid to protest anymore. That was a long ramble. Sorry about that. But
yeah, no, that's okay. No, I live in Utah. It's becoming more purple as people from California come here. However, it's still considered a very red state. Almost everyone I interact with is either for Donald Trump, for Ron DeSantis, or RFK Jr. There's very few for Harris, maybe some for Biden. But you live in kind of a purple state there in Nevada. As you're interacting with people, do you see Nevada becoming more and more conservative or more and more liberal?
Nevada's a through and through libertarian state. We're very independent. Look at the stuff that flies here. You know, I still like the fact I can't buy raw milk because there's no milk commission. But you can go get hookers. You can get drugs. You can do all this other stuff. I mean, welcome to Nevada. We love our guns. We love our freedom. My entire neighborhood is retired rednecks. You know, with money. You know what I don't see? I've never seen a Biden sign. But he won the state. How did that happen? You look at Arizona, where Trump had 100-mile car parade. And you remember the news report where that lady, she's like, there's a Biden rally. No one showed up. She's like, we aired that this was going to happen. They're so good. The optics here. I see nobody. I talk off the ear of every Uber driver, every grocery store clerk. And every time I ring up my ridiculous grocery bill, thanks, Bidenomics, and everyone laughs. Everyone claps, I should say. I think it's the same. But it's true. Everyone, even if they're not political, I mean, you really have to be under a rock to understand the big picture, what's going on. And there are a lot of people they know something's wrong, they don't know what. And that's because of the fake news. Well, the news would report on it. I'll pull up a chair. Let's talk about that. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the hell they're going to pull out this November, because they've got to cheat to stay in power. But it's going to be even more obvious. And I just don't know. I predict they'll do something where there is no election. Honestly, they're going to start losing and freak out because, well, they know what the punishment for treason is. I mean, I'm a good Christian person. I have soul to worry about. But this Walmart and Denny's crowd, when they figure out what these people have done and been doing, whew, there's a reason the Epstein client list hasn't been released.
Yeah. Okay. Final question. You know, the two biggest issues going into this election are inflation, so the economy, and the invasion on the border. Well, the Border Patrol just came out and fully endorsed Donald Trump, saying that he's the only one that can fix the border. Their suicide rates among Border Patrol agents is out of control. We're spending almost $500 billion, 5 Russia-Ukraine wars a year on illegal immigrants, many of them not working. Do you think that will wake the American people up, that if they believe that the border is a disaster and the people that defend the border say we need Trump, is that going to be enough?
Well, people remember what it was like living under Trump. They remember that economy, that lack of inflation, the extra security on the border. And they remember what this last 4 years of this regime, this illegitimate regime, has done. And so you're kind of dead in the water. And this is why they have to fake Kamala's popularity, other than the fact that she's freaking awful. I can't even stand that voice. I mean, I thought my voice was bad. But she's had 4 years. I'm going to do this. Well, why didn't you do that when you were border czar? Like, why didn't you do any of the things that you promised? Suddenly you care because you need votes to completely change your platform because you have these people have no spine, they have no nothing. And you know they're going to lie and do whatever they want. It's going to get worse. They have to, how do you explain that to American people? That people who could have done something didn't, but we should vote for them because they're going to make change. They'd have to be really, really tedious suffering to still vote Democrat. And I foresee a lot of people saying, you know, I just want the economy we had under Trump and the safety we had under Trump. I don't care if he talks all day. I don't care what the news says about him. I don't care if you hate me. I'm going to go in that booth and quietly vote. And they're probably still going to rig it from that point on. But they're going to have to explain how, especially look at the hurricanes, these hurricanes, the Maui fires. How are you going to explain that the Democrats won any of those states that they threw $750 at these people? How are they going to explain that they win any of them? They can't. They can't. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting thing. I'll definitely be on the couch with some popcorn that night and probably a shotgun because I don't know what these people are going to do if they lose.
Yeah. Okay. Just circling back around and then I'll let you go. I know you're getting ready to jump on some other interviews, but from everything you know about your friend, Them Miller, business partner, his love of Trump, his interaction with RNC, this is a giant hoax or misunderstanding. He had no intention of taking out Donald Trump.
Well, they knew from the beginning that that wasn't true. So this was an intentional. It's very intentional. They were always a Trump supporter. They were making fun of him. Why would they tell him he had guns in the car? Because other than the fact he didn't know that they were illegal in California. So none of their misunderstanding, none of those excuses make sense. And like I said, they're going to have to answer for that. And shit, you know, bad on the people that spread it without looking into it. It didn't make sense in the beginning, especially when they thought he was released on 5K bail. They were mad that they let him go. I'm like, well, gee, maybe because there was something else going on. Maybe you should look at his socials. Maybe we should, I don't know, do some research before we jump to conclusions. So, you know, a lesson learned here and a highlight on the high illegality of California dumb gun laws. So maybe that'll change because of this. I hope so. It's kind of the only way we can go. It's positive.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I know that this was last minute. Where can I point people if they want to follow you or be a part of your news broadcasts?
I'm funny. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Twitter X is now, you know, the least censored of all of them. So I do a lot of my work on there. I'm still on Gab and everything, but Elon is really, I'm one of those people that were kicked off, those journalists that were kicked off and brought back on to help this misinformation war. So check me out there. I suggest if you gave up on Twitter, go back. It's a different world, and never trust anything you see. Always do your research. Mindy Robinson under my name.
Okay, I will put that down. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. It'll be weird, but thank you.